Hello there, Starscream back for a Transformer review. Now, just like to thank, before I get into the review itself, I'd like to thank all the subscribers and the friends I've acquired over the year. It's really appreciated. I'm not going to say your names because you know who you are, and if I say one and not the other, you know, it's not fair. So, you know, to set aside any problems, I just say, you know who you are, and it's much appreciated. Right, onto the toy in hand, and it's kind of a nice one. It's Inferno. And I really like this toy. He's got a lot more character than possibly you might necessarily associate with Inferno. Alright, let's get to grips with his appearance in the comics and the cartoons, alright? Inferno here has died practically as many times as Optimus Prime. I know you find it hard to believe because it's primarily in the comics, but he has actually died about 4 times, I think it might be 4, might even be more actually, in case I'm forgetting one. You know the underbase with Starscream? He is one of the Transformers that fall in there, so that's fine. We took that for granted, but I think Grimlock brings him back later on, or Ratchet. I know it's very bizarre Grimlock doing it, but he's actually brought back, okay, one more time after that. Then he dies again. Bludgeon's, one of Bludgeon's troops, or Bludgeon, he kills him, so he's gone again. Then the returning of Optimus Prime hails in Inferno again. Which is fine. I think it has something to do with an Action Master variant of it, but I'm not sure if that made an appearance in the comics, so I could be wrong, because it is an Action Master one of him, and it's crap. So, no more again. I'm only going to talk about the Generation 1 toy, okay? So then he dies again. And and the UK run of the comics, he takes a damaged Autobot ship. He gets all of them to leave it, and he crashes into the ranks of the Decepticons, going up in, this might be slightly ironic, flames. And he likes to put them out, but his name's Inferno. Pyromaniac who likes to put out fires, but likes to burn with them. This hails to the Beast Wars Inferno, really, doesn't it? Because he's kind of like that, but he's nothing like it. I was just trying to get the, you know, compare the two and bring some sort of parallel between them. Did it work? Probably not. But hey, I get a prize for trying, don't I? Anyway, back to Inferno, and the after movie Inferno, the Generation 2 one, he dies too, because there's a Generation 2 toy, but he dies as well. So Inferno just keeps dying, doesn't he? Right, so let's get on to the cartoon character, which we're all familiar with. He speaks with a kind of light Texan accent, not quite as pronounced as Ironhide's, but nevertheless, it's there, isn't it? And he, oh, come on, Red, and kind of like that. And please don't comment on my pitiful attempts at a voice. I know it's not great. I'm not claiming it is. And he has a pretty good run. He has a very, very bizarre relationship with Red Alert. Now, he's usually kept to looking after Red Alert for some reason. Now, in one of the episodes, Red Alert's working on something. He says, stay here, Inferno, you've got to look out for me, and blah, 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 and I'm getting a bit flummoxed and flustered, and Inferno wants to fight. I mean, he's good, but he doesn't like to get stuck into the action a bit. And that's what Inferno's known for. I mean, he knows what he's meant to be doing, but he gets sidetracked just a little bit, and no more so than in this episode where he goes wandering off to see what the other Autobots are doing, and damn it, they're in a fight, and I got a gun, and bang! And Red Alert gets shot, and then he starts to go mad, and he thinks, you're all against me, and that's how the episode pans out. And it's a good one, but it has a very bizarre relationship between Inferno and Red Alert. Now, I'm not going to read too much into it. I just say it's wrong, alright? That's it. No more, but it's wrong. Anyway, that's his run. And he's actually credited in the original Transformer movie, the voice actor is. Now, well, the character is as well. He's not in it, is he? So I can only assume that he was meant to be in it, or you saw a scene where he said a line, but we can either assume that you can take it any way you want. I suppose you could look at he survived the movie because he's in a Generation 2 comic and as a Generation toy. So, or he's been resurrected like Prime, because Prime dies in the movie. So, take it what you want, but his name is credited at the end of the film. So, I don't know what's going on there. Alright, a rundown of the character. I think that's enough, isn't it? Should we take a look at the toy? I love the toy. Look at the head. I love the head because it's got a big head. It's got a lot of features on it. It's very well coloured. I really like the head moulding. I know it's a bizarre thing to say, but it's nice. It's a very nice head moulding. And the toy itself poses very well. Granted, his legs can't move, alright? So he's stuck. But but his arms are very flexible. I mean, he can do this, you know, like he's doing some exercises. I'm sorry, this keeps shooting out, so I'm just going to put this down, alright? You can have fists in there, you can have a rocket in there. I like to have it with a rocket, but there we go. So he can do the stretches, he's completely posable with his arm, they do this. They've got a lot more movement than most Transformer arms. They're very articulate. It's just a shame the legs aren't. Now, a little thing to know, which you may not, is, you see this part here, this black bit? If you take the screw out there, his legs actually move left and right. This thing prohibits them here from moving. It keeps them locked. So if you took it out, or you were to take this out and do a little alteration yourself so it can move independently, you can actually make him move his legs like that. Just a little thing to know, because I've taken the toy apart. I know that sounds odd, that's purely because I was repainting it. My old one is. Now, Inferno is actually the second Transformer I ever got, and because I never had an Optimus Prime as a kid, I used Inferno as the leader. I just pretended he was Prime because he was red and he's a lot taller. He's a nice sized toy. He's a nice sized toy. He's a nice sized toy, and he stands above most of the other G1 cars, so I had him as leader. And no more applicable because, guess what? In Rid, what does Optimus Prime transform into? Fire truck. So yeah, I was way ahead of the time, as usual. I'm feeling kind of smug now. Sorry. So yeah, that's what I used to do with it. But yeah, it's a lovely toy, and it is one of my favourites. There's recolours of him, you know. Grapple was... No, actually, Grapple was the preceding one. He was a Generation 2 character, which came into existence primarily because they brought the sparks down with them when they crashed, but they didn't implant them into a body. They needed to bolster up their army, so I think it was Ratchet. Yeah, it was Ratchet, not Wheeljack. Built new bodies and just implanted the spark, and Inferno was one of them because he's a Season 2 character. And I like Inferno. It's a very nice toy. It stands quite nicely. Now, the Generation 2 toy, as I said, dies. They seem to keep dying, don't they? You can tell the difference. He's an horrible off-red colour. He looks cheap, alright? He's a cheap-looking toy. And you notice here, look. You see there? Now, you look at the Generation 1. There's a clip there for releasing it. He doesn't have it. Literally, his arm's just pulling. See, there's no clip there for a spring loaded and pull out. So they save money on a spring. I hate you, Hasbro. You're so flipping tight. And he's got this stupid squirty thing at the back. Looks like he's got some horrible growth or gremlin sitting on his back, doesn't it? As I said, the Generation 2 toy, don't be fobbed off if somebody says they've got a Generation 1 and they're selling you the Generation 2. The Generation 2 is not worth much money. So there. And there's another one, and it's called Artfire. Artfire? Yeah, it's Artfire. And this is him. It's a recolour of Inferno. Very expensive toy. It's a Target Master. Now, you can probably tell the variations in colour. I don't need to point out bleeding obvious, do I? But what you will know is the head moulding is a little bit different because he's got blue ears and blue eyes and blue sirens for some reason. So he's not really a fire truck, is he? Never mind. The only thing that's wrong with my in Artfire is 2. The only thing that's wrong is 2. I've got to learn to count. Yes, there's 2 things wrong with this guy, alright? Number 1, I don't have his Target Master anymore because I never had his Target Master. Number 2 is I've got the Generation 1 Inferno Fist because they should be bigger to hold a Target Master gun, but I just bought the body on eBay and that cost enough money, I can tell you. So all I've got is that, and I just put the Generation 1 Fists in. Bob's your uncle. It stands very nice on the shelf. And I'm not really going to split hairs about it. I'm quite proud of the toy. And you can obviously tell there's black there, white there. That's grey, that's grey. I don't know if this camera's doing it justice, is it? No? Oh, there we go. That's Inferno. Now, there's a few variations of this toy in new forms. There's an Energon one. I've got it. I'll put it at the beginning of the video, okay? And there's a movie released one. But all it is a recolour of Red Alert out of Armada. So that's pretty good, I suppose, because they had no relationship. So, recolouring Red Alert to be Inferno? Why not? Why not? It's a crappy toy anyway. The Armada one, that is. Not Red Alert from the original one, and not this one. So, that's just a quick look at Generation 1 Inferno. Alright? Now, I'm going to do a review with some other chap, and you'll find out later on, and it's not going to be posted on this channel, but I'll let you know where it's going to be posted. And just for everybody out there, if I promised I'll do something, I will get round to doing it, I promise. I just had a lot on, changing of jobs again. It's that time of the year, and it's January, and January's not a good year for good year for anybody. Yeah, I have January for a year. No, it's not a good month for anybody, but I will catch up, and I promise, alright? So that's me, that's Starscream saying, take care you all lot, and let's look forward to see what this year brings.
Swing!